Chapter 1. The battle begins. The mercenary fort. This is Titania, who is Grail's second in command, because it is Grail's mercenary group. And it is our first day as a professional soldier. Oh. And Ike slept in. Alright, I think I'm going to actually read these now, because it's kind of boring, because it's hard to commentate these without just insulting the people saying it. But I refuse to do voices, so don't ask. I'm talking with Titania right now. Wait outside till we're done. Yes, sir. Very well, Commander Grail. Shall we continue? You were telling me about some bandits that needed taken care of, weren't you? Correct. The request comes from a nearby village. According to our reports, the bandits are not all that strong. I think it best if I ride out and take a look. I plan on taking Oscar and Boyd along with me. Just the brothers? Go ahead and add Ike to your team. Sheena and Gatry and I can handle the other two jobs easily enough. Titania, I'm leaving Ike in your care. I'm trusting you to show him the ropes. Understood, Commander. Come on, Ike, let's get you set up. Alright, my first job. Captain Titania, preparations are complete, and I'm ready to go. Impeccable timing. It's nice to know you can always count on you to be ready, Oscar. Don't forget about me. I'm ready for action. Boyd's a fail. So that's so, Boyd. That's a surprise. Ha, not today, it isn't. As would say, I'm going to be the absolute model of perfection. I need to set a good example for Ike. Yeah, right. I'll take your word for it. Your first campaign at last. I know you've wanted this for a while. Are you nervous, Ike? I think I was more nervous last night. I could hardly sleep. This morning, I'm feeling pretty good. It's the calm before the storm. You should try to relax. You're not going to be out there alone. Yeah, you're right. Right, everyone ready? Let's go. And we head off. Ooh. Okay, we are in Keldeo. Alright, let me explain what's going on. This is the map of Keldeo. They've hired us to drive off some bandits. We're the blue marks here. The red dots are the bandits. There aren't many of them, but we can't get careless. The one in front of the building up north is their leader. Our mission is to take him out and recapture that building. Ike, listen up. All this stuff is old news to me, but I can give a rookie like you a few tips. First off, don't let yourself get worked up and jump out in front of everyone. You'll just end up getting hurt. Don't try to do too much, Ike. When things get dangerous, you can, and should, rely on us. As long as you watch how the enemy moves carefully, you'll be fine. Think of this as a training mission. I'll do that. Oscar, Boyd, thanks for your help. Don't mention it. Just sit back and watch how a professional handles things. Enough chit-chat, you three. We've got work to do. Ike, before you engage an enemy, take a good look at his weapon. The weapon you use often determines who has the upper hand in the fight. For example, the axe I'm wielding serves me well against lances, but it fares less well against swords. And my lance is great against swords, but not against axes. And to complete the triangle, my sword is strong against axes, but weak against lances, right? Yes, exactly. If you can remember that, you'll be more effective in combat. That's just the basics, though. This will come in handy soon enough, so don't forget it. Swords over axes. I won't forget. Not if I remember that I'll always have the advantage over you, Boyd. Do you think you could maybe find a different way of remembering? Yeah, thanks. And one more thing. Don't forget to visit the locals. We're here to help after all. The villagers should welcome our presence. And no. Okay, so we jump in here. We now have 4 units. And I gotta figure out... Now I gotta figure out my button controls. Okay, left zooms out and in. What does Y do? Oh, Y is your menu. Okay, so we'll just take advantage of this. Holy crap, Ike has a lot of swords. I don't know why he brought so many, but he did. Okay, this is our stat screen. As you can see at the top, we have our level, our experience, and our health. after that, the personal data. Our first stat is strength, which determines your power in battle. I'm not exactly sure on all these stats, so forgive me if I get something wrong. Magic is how much magic damage you can deal if you use a magic weapon, which we don't have yet. Skill, I believe, determines your critical hits, which are 3 times damage, and it'll show you what your rate is. Speed is if you have a high enough number over the opponent, you get to attack twice in one engagement, whatever. If you have too low and they have high ones, then they will double you, and that'll be very bad because you'll probably die unless you're like massively defensive. I'm honestly not exactly sure on what luck does, and well, I'm sure someone will tell me. Defense is obviously your physical defenses against strength, the opposites there. Resistance is your magic defense. So, we have Oscar, who is a Lance Knight, who is also level 3. I find it ironic that Ike is actually the highest one on out of these guys. Then Boyd's a level 2 fighter. And, okay. If you look at Boyd, you can see he has this Tempest thing, which is a skill. Well, I don't know what they're called in this game, but they're called skills in Radiant Dawn, so that's what I'm going to call them. It doubles biorhythm effects. I believe biorhythm affects how you hit, or I think it takes advantage in all your stats. Titania is your current best character, but take that with a grain of salt, in that in this game, or in this series of games, you promote into your second tier later on. Titania is already in her second tier, and when she kills enemies, at least in this point in the game, she will get next to no experience. So if you use her right now, she will just drain experience from your other characters. So it's not really a good idea to use her. It's a good idea to use her as a wall in case, and also to distract enemies if you like take off her weapons and stuff like that. One screen I forgot. We have build determines rescuing, stuff like that. Weapon level determines what kind of weapons you can use. As you can see, all these iron swords require E level, and steel is also E, so not a big deal. Titania does have counter, which means she can reverse attacks, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. Certain instances causes enemy to receive half of the damage it deals to this unit. Okay. And as you also look at their weapon level, you can see Titania can also use lances, so we can get into that. Attribute has something to do with supports, which we'll get into later, and I'm not exactly sure about biorhythm, but as you can see, Oscar's is very down. That's that big red arrow. So let's get to actually playing. No. What that tutorial I would assume would have told us is that if you have a mounted unit, like, because Titania and Oscar are on horses, after they do something, they can move again. But I will just show you that. Titania talked about visiting houses, so we are going to do that to this house right here. Ah, you're with the mercenaries, right? Thank you for coming. We've heard a lot about you. Here, take this weapon. We're farmers, not fighters. Maybe you'll get some use from it. And we got a steel sword, which we want to give to Ike, but the second movement they get doesn't let them do anything with it. It's just they can move again. We are going to get Ike right into the battle with these guys. As you can see, that says we can go twice. And it shows your HP mount, or I don't know what that stands for, but it's your damage you're going to deal. Hit is your hit percentage, so he has less than half. He will hit less than half the time. Critical is your critical percentage. I'm just not sure what it's out of. It might be out of your hit percentage, or it might be something different. I just know that even with one, you can get a critical hit, and it's not that rare. So we're going to engage in battle. Smack, smack, smack. Get some decent experience. And we'll bring Void around to fight this one. You'll notice that swords are usually the most accurate of weapons. Axes are the least, but axes are the most powerful, while swords are less powerful. However, swords are lighter, so they're more likely to score double hits. Oh, this is a want. What kind of a face is that? What's going on out there? Is that some sort of army? Pah, a bunch of mercenaries looking for their next meal. The villagers must have hired them. Listen up, lads. Hurt 'em and hurt 'em bad. We'll let this bunch live, and we'll have hordes of hired swords hounding us the rest of our days. Yeah. It's those fool village. That guy's got a big scar. They think they can buy a bunch of cell swords to chase us away. It ain't gonna work out how they wanted. Although all they get for their trouble is a bunch of ruined houses. Tear 'em down, boys. That'll teach 'em. Oh no! Crap! Where did the fire come from? You jerk. Only bandits and maybe another unit class can destroy villages. I'm not sure if they can in this game or not. You'll also notice you get a lot more experience from actually killing the enemy, so thus Void fails so far.